My Future Wife, Part 15, Scrubs, an open letter. March 12th, 2024, 6:05 p.m. Dear Grace, I'm not a fan of show-offs who get up at 6 a.m., do a bunch of exercise and shit, and then post about it on social media. It's their choice, of course, but my life is the reverse. I'm happy if I manage to get out of bed before 6 p.m. Until something interesting happens in my real life, Grace, like getting on stage instead of writing from a coffee shop at night, I'll continue the movie idea. Movie idea, untitled, continued. Grace and David follow Mom and Dad back to the hotel. They enter the elevator and Grace selects their floor, only their floor, and David assumes they are getting escorted to their door this time. Previously, Dad disappeared in the lobby. Grace guides David to the right as they exit and the parents head to the left. David, finally cluing in. Oh, they've been staying here too? Grace, you didn't notice the dividing door in our room? I can't remember. They've been next door the entire time. Listening? No, not listening. Not waiting to break the door down, just waiting for us to leave, or need them. I'm older than both of them, why would I need anyone's help? Grace holds up her wrist. Yes, but why would we need their help? Maybe you should read the letter? I'm tired. Nap time? Yes, Mummy. I can see it in your eyes. I know. Without speaking, they head into the washroom to relieve themselves in the dark. Can I ask you a question? Only if you stop asking if you can ask. I have a question for you, whenever you'd like to answer. Oh, I like that. Look, I won't always be this nice to you. Okay? Dave's smiling, not believing a word of her authority. I understand. You never answered the sports question with our kids. Oh, okay. Can we lay on the bed and I'll see if I can figure it out? Naked. Is your goal to measure how red I get when you try and embarrass me? More measurements? More testing? You got a problem with that? Not at the moment, just clarifying. My current position on sports is that other organizations, schools, community groups, etc. provide enough opportunities for any of our children to experience any sport they are interested in, assuming we can afford it. If one of them finds a special interest and we can help, we will, but ultimately it'll be their sacrifice, their decision. If the best hockey program is ABC school, but enrollment means they'll have to attend and pass class to continue, then that's what they'll have to do. Suggestions? There's my logic and acceptable starting point. Acceptable for now, David. You're not giving me much, are you? In what respect? Your story. It's in the letter, yes I know. Do you want to read it out loud to me? Never. Why? You asked me to write you a letter. I've written you a letter. I stand by the contents of my letter, even after spending nearly 2 days with you, tied to you. I don't recall asking you, or the Grace in the letters, to write me a letter, did I? I read between the lines, David. Isn't a letter which you can read at your leisure fair. You didn't force me to read your letters, and I'm not trying to force you to read mine. But I'd prefer if you did. And as of today, this moment, there is no way I can read it in front of you, no matter how dark we get in the room. Fair enough? Fair enough. I'm sorry. For what? Pushing this. Grace holds up the cuffs. I forgot. Are we good on sports? Exercise will come naturally, I think, especially if we live an active lifestyle and set the example. Sure. It's 3 p.m. and we're having a nap. You at least have an excuse, I don't. Dave, ignoring the comment. You've read my movie ideas online? I have. You're familiar with the character Cat U? I am. Do you think I'm Cat U, David? No. But can we call our first daughter Cat U? Cat U, Joseph? Yes. A bit hard to say. And our first son, Dave Jr.? Grace pacing out the syllables. Dave Jr. Joseph? Can you even say that, David? Bite me. Do I get a say? Do you want one? Yes. What are your thoughts? Yes, if I get to name the rest of our children. Dave, not believing his luck. Yes, agreed. In fact, I insisted you name the rest of them. Unless we are adopting, then we probably shouldn't rename them. Agreed. Besides, everyone teased me about having 2 first names and no last, and I turned out fine. A perfect specimen. David ignores the comments. They lie on their backs, eyes closed, begin to fall asleep before Dave suddenly jerks and wakes them both up. Sorry? What was that, seizure? No, just something that occurs when I fall asleep, especially if I'm on my back. Switch to your side. Dave holds up his hand. Where do I put this? Do you want to look at me or away from me? Doesn't matter, I just need to be on my side. Big spoon or little? Under the circumstances, I'll go little. Great, let's lock our right hands together and lie on our left sides. My hand on my hip, yours on yours. Sure, makes sense. Dave and Grace figure out the logistics and eventually find a way to lie side by side on the bed. Why are we doing this? Go to sleep, David. Can you keep saying that? Can you hypnotize me to sleep? I wish. David grabs a spare pillow and places it in his little spoon spot. Your baby? Ha ha. I have a pillow at home I like to sleep with. Well, beside. It's okay if you have a sex doll, David. Again, ha ha. No, it's lumpy and not good for actual sleeping on, but it's comfortable to hold. Because of the lumps? Maybe. I'll call it Lumpy Lucy. It or her, David? Stop picking my words apart, Grace. 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 Why didn't you grab her when we got your clothes? Or give her a hug at least? Do you get like this when falling asleep? Like what? I'm not sure. Either silly, funny, or demented. What are we talking about? Napping, and then you shook your head. Right, sorry, let's try again. David falls asleep without incident. As he begins to lightly snore, Grace places her hand on his back to feel his heartbeat through her hand. She silently cries, calls up to David, and falls asleep. An hour later, the hotel fire alarm wakes him up from their first cuddle. What the fuck? Fire alarm. David and Grace untangle himself. Dave looks at Grace and realizes he knows her from somewhere. You said you saw me at the library once? Actually, I was going to say once or twice, but you cut me off and I never corrected you. How many times, approximately? Maybe 100 times over the last 1.5 years. What? But, an important but. The first year was nothing more than a patron of the library. So you worked there? Or you still work there? I volunteered at your favorite library during high school, and then I worked there part-time while going to university. I don't work there now, but I did volunteer a few times over the last few months to observe you. Okay, but that's not where I know you from. I understand. It's in the letter? It's in the letter. I don't think I need the letter. I think I know where I know you from. What did you take at university? Please don't ask me to read the letter. Psychology. Of course. Ready for the letter? I don't need it now. My memory has returned. Of me, or all of it? Of you? David sits up on the edge of the bed, attempting to stand up before forgetting about the attachment. He watches the door to the parents' room. David. No response. Dave. No response. You want me to leave? You'd ruin the experiment. I don't care about the experiment. Give me a minute. Moore's coming back. Grace waits. I'm going to make a wild guess about you, Grace, if that's okay. Of course. And I'm not going to look at you. Your choice. Let me guess, near the end of your degree you had a practicum of some sort. Some hospital experience? Yes. About a year ago? Yes. And you saw me in the psych-ward? Yes? Yes. David remains silent. Grace waits a few minutes and then sits beside David. I'll tell you this part of the story, David. I don't think you want to read it. I don't? Tell me when you're ready. David aggressively. Go ahead. David. Sorry, let's lie back down and then I'm ready. You want me to find a lumpy pillow for you? David grins. I'm fine, but thanks. Yes, you are correct. I saw you in the psych ward, but I did not interact with you directly, okay? Keep going. It wasn't a practicum, more of a volunteer opportunity on the psych ward. You were the watcher. Yes, I was observing a girl on suicide watch. You wore a mask, no makeup, glasses, plain hair. Yes. Where are your glasses now? I don't need them anymore. Why? I don't know. My eyes got better. The prescription wasn't very strong in the first place. Maybe you had lazy eyes. Grace looks confused. Another theory for another day. I remember now, you mostly sat in her room and read a book while she watched movies in bed. Yes, except when she walked the hallways or ate. Walking, you followed her, and when she ate, you watched her from behind the nurse's station, correct? Yes, correct. How do you remember me? I noticed when they wheeled you into your room, you looked dead. I figured you'd be my next suicide watch. David doesn't respond. They wait in silence. Grace closes her eyes. David looks directly at the ceiling. It's not your face, it's your mannerisms. The way you walk, talk, act. I don't mean perform. Your actions. Did you hear me on the ward, talking to the nurses or the girl, whose name was Sandra, by the way? I can't remember hearing you, but maybe. It's mostly the walk. My walk? I remember your butt. My butt? I was in scrubs, David. We all were. No, I remember the outfits and your butt. And Sandra's too. It's grown since then. How can you be sure? You just confirmed that you were there, I'm sure. You want another look to be sure? No, I've checked it out enough since you kidnapped me. Mutually agreed upon bondage. MAB? Grace with a serious face. There's more, David. Dave nods. So I recognized you in the hospital because of the library. Not, and I want to be very clear, not because I was talking at the library. I wasn't. David interrupts. At first? At first, correct. In fact, the only reason any of us at the library noticed you is your consistency. You'd come in, sit at the same set of tables, one particular table available, and then typed on your computer for hours, yes? I remember. Energy drink, write, bathroom, and repeat. Sometimes I'd go buy more drinks in return. I know, dear. Dear? And you had a crush on one of the librarians. I don't think so. There were a couple of cute ones, but I don't recall a crush. She was the only librarian you said hi to in the entire place, including me. You don't remember? After what you just recalled? No. Maybe my memory is still recalling the psych-ward. Maybe. Anyway, I clearly remember you saying hi to her, and only her. You walked by me at the desk a few times and didn't take a second look. Sorry. Not my point. What you did do when she, Louisa... Not my point. What did you do when she, Louisa, wasn't working? Tell me. If Louisa wasn't working, you walked by the front desk without noticing anyone, like you didn't exist. And if she was working, I waited until she was available so when I walked by I could catch her eye and say hi. See? Flirting. Not really flirting, okay? Is she still single? How did you know she was single in the first place? I didn't. David takes a huge breath. Have we met anywhere else, or seen each other anywhere else? Maybe once at the train station by your house, but it was dark and I'm not sure it was you. You walked away fast and didn't have your usual hoodie on. I have a question about the ward. How long was I out? I'm not sure, but you didn't leave your room for these 3 days. Felt like 5, like I slept that long. I'm not sure. I didn't have access to any of your records or anything like that, but I did tell the nurses I recognized you from the library. I gave them your routine and said you never caused any issue in the library with security or others. I'm feeling and some people in the library thought you may be homeless or nearly homeless. Did you? I really didn't notice you that much, David, and my memory doesn't come back to me like it seems to for you. I think all important memories are saved. Probably. Anything else? About the psych ward or in general? The hospital? Nothing I can remember. There may be more in the letter, but I don't think so. So you are or want to be a psychologist? No, I'm a researcher. I study psychology with no particular career in mind. Don't you mean in the mind? Almost funny, David. Should we talk about stand-up now? I'm tired. Do we nap? Yes, David, we can. Thanks, Grace.